Hey guys, welcome back. So today's viewer submitted question is by Troy S, and he left me a question on my headlight adjustment video for Crown Victoria. And we got to talking, and it turns out he actually has a 2000 Grand Marquis, and he needs to readjust the headlights after hitting a deer. And it became apparent to me that the Crown Victoria and the Grand Marquis headlights have a small difference when you're adjusting the headlights. So I pulled out my owner's manual for my Grand Marquis, and it's got the usual, park so many feet away from a wall, and it gives you a little diagram of here of what your beam pattern should look like. And then down over here it says horizontal aim is not required for this vehicle and is non-adjustable. So it looks like the Crown Victoria, you can adjust the vertical and horizontal beam pattern, or excuse me, the headlight aim, but on the Grand Marquis they only have a vertical adjustment. There is no horizontal adjustment. So if your horizontal adjustment is off, it means maybe there's something bent or broken that you need to repair before you'll be able to aim your headlights properly. Okay, so now that we know the Grand Marquis is non-adjustable for the horizontal adjustment, you're going to need a couple of things to make this adjustment. The first thing is you're going to need some kind of tool, and the second thing I recommend you get a piece of cardboard here, so that when you're making your fine adjustments you can cover one headlight and you can just deal with one beam pattern at a time when you're making your fine adjustments. So I've taken the my passenger headlamp out of my 2010 Grand Marquis just to show you the back of it and what the headlight adjuster looks like. And you don't need to take out the headlight to make this adjustment. This is just for demonstration purposes. So this is the back of the headlight here, and this gray knob is the adjuster. Let me see if I can give you a better look at it. So that's it right there. It's just this 4mm screw bolt looking thing, and the owner's manual says you're going to tighten this to aim the headlight down, and then you're going to loosen it to bring the headlight up. Okay, so now that we know what that thing looks like, you're going to need to get some kind of tool or wrench to make this adjustment. So I think most everybody has a 1/4-inch ratchet, and you can use either a 4mm socket, or this actually happens to be a 5/32 socket. Either one will work. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to stick this on the end of that adjuster, and then you can crank it down or crank it up to get your adjustment going. Now, one thing I do want to mention that may be an issue depending on what year Grand Marquis, or even what year or what model Ford you've got, is look at the width of this wrench and socket. That's got to be about maybe an inch, inch and a quarter, and getting into the tight quarters of the headlight assembly, it may be an issue. So I've come up with two other alternatives, options that I've used on my own vehicles. And the first one I just made out of necessity, and I took a this happens to be a 10mm ratcheting box wrench. I already had it, and I already had in my junk drawer, this is a 4mm button head bolt. And I just stuck it in there with 2 washers, and then I fastened it with a nut. And this is maybe about 1/3 of the thickness of this socket and socket wrench. And this can mean the difference between being able to get in there to make the adjustment and not. Now, it is a little difficult because this button head bolt, you know, it doesn't go too deep in there. You know, it only goes in there about, you know, look at that. You know, that's just a couple of C hairs deep. But I tell you what, it works good enough if you just need to make a small adjustment. Now, I also did break down and buy an official headlight adjustment tool. And this one here is called the Lisle 14540. And this is a pretty neat invention. This is a designated headlight adjuster for Ford vehicles. And I gotta hand it to him. This tool is pretty nice. You know, it did cost me $15, and that was a little hard to swallow, but I think it's worth it. So as you can see, it's double-sided. It goes in both sides, and this one goes in a little bit deeper. You know, that goes maybe twice or maybe 2.5 times deeper, so you get a bit more purchase on the adjuster here. And it doesn't ratchet, but it just has a one-way cam, so you know, in order to switch direction, you'll have to take it off and put it back on the other way. And same thing, you'll just stick it on here like that, and then you can make your adjustment. Okay, so let me take you over to the car and show you what this looks like on the vehicle. So this is the 2010 Grand Marquis. Let me grab my pointer. And let me turn on some light. Okay, so this here is the radiator cover. You do not need to take this off. I just took it off to show you down in here what this looks like. So this is the driver's side headlight. And where is this thing? Okay, there it is right there. So this little 4mm silver bolt that I'm touching with this dowel, that's the headlight adjuster. Now let me show you what happens when you try to use the socket wrench. Now as you can see, I'm hitting the wall of this little support, and I cannot get the wrench on the adjuster because it's just too wide. So you will not be able to use this wrench to adjust the headlights on this car. Now let me show you this little thing. There we go. So see that? I can get it on there, and it works pretty good. And then again, this Ford headlight tool, there you go. You can stick it on there and it'll look just like that. So where's my dowel go? Oh, there it is. So again, that's what it'll look like. This is the adjuster here, and that's the adjustment screw right there. Okay, so hope that helps for the Grand Marquis, guys. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.